Have you ever felt that sudden, sharp jerk when you shift gears? That rough clunk that shakes the car, even when you're trying to drive smoothly? You might blame the gearbox, but here's the real shocker. It could actually be your own driving habits destroying your clutch. The way you use your clutch every day might be silently eating away at it. And today, I'm going to reveal the top 10 mistakes that wreck your clutch without you even realizing it. At the end of the video, I'll share the secret tip mechanics used to make a clutch last well over 200,000 miles. So, buckle up. Your wallet will thank you later. Mistake number 1. Starting in second gear and flooring it. Have you ever heard someone say, "Start in second gear, it saves fuel"? Maybe it was a friend or a family member who swore by this trick. Sounds smart, right? Saving fuel and being gentle on the car, what's wrong with that? Well, here's the catch. Every time you start in second gear, your engine has to work much harder than if you started in first. Why? Because the engine needs to produce more torque to keep the car moving at low speed. And guess what? The clutch is the one bearing the brunt of this extra effort. Instead of fully engaging quickly, the clutch remains partially slipping for longer to prevent the engine from stalling. What does that mean? A lot of heat and wear build up on the clutch disc. Slipping generates friction, and friction creates heat, which is the enemy of any clutch. Imagine dragging your brakes for a few minutes every time you start driving. How long do you think those brake pads would last? The clutch wears out just the same when you start in second gear too often. And it's not just about wear, it's about shortening the clutch's entire lifespan. Mechanics tell us that this habit can literally cut your clutch life in half. And here's a bonus twist. If your car has a dual mass flywheel, which many modern cars do, this damage can add up to hundreds of dollars more in repair costs. So what seems like a clever fuel-saving hack is actually a beginner's mistake that costs you in the long run. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the next clutch killer, coming up right after this. Mistake number 2, overusing engine braking. Have you ever proudly said, "I use engine braking to save my brake pads and drive sportily"? It sounds impressive and like you really know your car, right? Many drivers believe that downshifting early, letting the engine slow the car without touching the brake pedal, is the smartest way to decelerate. But here's the catch. Abusing engine braking can secretly ruin your clutch. Every time you downshift and release the clutch too fast or at too low an engine speed, you're forcing a harsh jerk between the flywheel and the clutch disc. What does this mean for your clutch? It causes tiny, repeated slips inside the clutch mechanism, uneven wear, and a faster breakdown of the friction material. Think about it. The clutch isn't designed to absorb these shocks repeatedly. Overusing engine braking can also seriously damage your transmission's synchronizers, especially if you drop gears quickly just to feel that engine braking effect. Some drivers find themselves needing a clutch replacement between 40,000 and 50,000 miles, way sooner than expected, because of this habit. And that repair bill, it can easily hit $1,000 or more. So, engine braking is useful, yes, but only when done carefully, not as your only way to slow down. Want to avoid costly clutch repairs? Remember, don't abuse the engine brake. And there's more ahead. Next up is a clutch killer that many new drivers fall into. You won't want to miss it. Mistake number 3, releasing the clutch too quickly. Have you ever heard someone say, "Release the clutch quickly for faster gear changes"? Especially if you're new to driving, you might think that a quick, sharp clutch release means you're a skilled driver. Some even believe that if the car doesn't jerk, they're not doing it right. But here's the problem. Every time you slam your foot off the clutch pedal, especially between first and second gear or second and third, you're sending a sudden shock through the entire transmission. The clutch disc doesn't get a chance to smoothly engage with the flywheel. Instead, you get uneven friction, vibrations, and what mechanics call asymmetric wear, where one part of the clutch wears down faster than the rest. This problem gets worse if the engine is still cold, or if you're driving uphill. Those repeated jerks don't just hurt the clutch, they also strain your engine mounts and gearbox components. Mechanics agree this is one of the most common reasons brand new clutches fail early, sometimes after just 40,000 miles instead of the expected 75,000 or more. In some cases, this uneven wear causes low-speed vibrations you feel especially in first gear or reverse. And guess what? Even if only part of the clutch is damaged, you might still have to replace the entire clutch kit. So, releasing the clutch like a pro is not about speed. It's about smoothness and timing. Want to keep your clutch alive? Slow down your release and don't treat it like a race. Ready for the next clutch mistake? It might be something you do every time you wait at a red light. Mistake number 4, holding the clutch down at traffic lights. Imagine this. Julia drives a manual car, and every time she stops at a red light, she keeps the clutch pedal fully pressed while the gear is still engaged. She thinks it makes her ready to go the moment the light turns green. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the problem. Keeping the clutch pedal down with the gear engaged puts constant pressure on the release bearing, also called the throwout bearing. Even if the car isn't moving, this small part is working hard, under continuous stress. Now, think about how many times you stop in traffic each day. 1 minute here, 1 minute there. Those minutes add up to hundreds of hours of unnecessary wear on that bearing every year. What happens next? The bearing wears unevenly, starts making annoying noises, and causes the clutch to slip. For Julia, it meant a $900 repair bill after months of ignoring the problem. Many drivers don't realize this silent killer is slowly destroying their clutch, one red light at a time. Instead, the smart move is to put the car in neutral and release the clutch pedal while waiting. It's a small habit change that saves you big bucks down the road. And if you think that's minor, wait till you hear the story of Antonio, who thought he was smart but paid a heavy price. Mistake number 5, using the clutch as a parking brake. Meet Antonio. He lives on a hill, and every day when he parks his manual car, he rarely pulls the handbrake. Instead, he leaves the car in first gear and slowly releases the clutch until the vehicle holds on its own. Antonio believes this method saves him from the hassle of a frozen handbrake in winter. Sounds clever, right? But here's the catch. He's actually using his clutch as a parking brake. By keeping the clutch partially engaged with the engine off, Antonio is putting constant stress on the clutch disc. Over time, this partial load wears down the clutch prematurely and damages the flywheel, causing vibrations when engaging the clutch. After just 2 years of this habit, Antonio's clutch started slipping and jerking, and he had to face a repair bill exceeding $1,300. All this trouble could have been avoided with a simple handbrake pull. It's amazing how small habits can lead to big repair costs, isn't it? But the story doesn't end here. Up next is a mistake many drivers overlook, but it can silently kill your clutch faster than you think. Mistake number 6, neglecting clutch play adjustment. Lorenzo has been driving his 2009 Opel Corsa for years, thinking everything was fine, until one day it wasn't. During his annual service, the mechanic noticed his clutch pedal had become stiffer, but Lorenzo brushed it off. A couple of months later, while navigating a roundabout, Lorenzo felt a sudden snap under his foot. The clutch failed. The diagnosis? The clutch cable had never been adjusted properly, and over time, the pedal travel shortened so much that the clutch disc stayed slightly engaged even when the pedal was fully released. What does this mean? Constant friction inside the clutch causes overheating and accelerated wear. Wear that Lorenzo didn't see coming. And the worst part? A simple 15-minute cable adjustment during regular maintenance could have prevented the entire clutch failure. Now, Lorenzo faces a repair bill of nearly $1,000 and wonders every day, what if I had this checked sooner? Don't let this happen to you. Make sure your clutch play is regularly inspected and adjusted, because ignoring this small detail can cost you big in the long run. Mistake number 7, using the wrong engine oil. You might be wondering, what does engine oil have to do with my clutch? Aren't they separate systems? In many cars, especially those with a wet clutch system, where the clutch operates immersed in engine oil, or with hydraulic clutch actuation, the type of engine oil you use can make a huge difference. Using the wrong oil can lead to incorrect pressure and excessive friction within the clutch system. Even in simpler systems, thick or dirty oil can cause the clutch pedal to feel less responsive, lead to irregular clutch engagement, or even cause the clutch to stay slightly engaged when you think it's fully released. Mechanics always stress this. Stick to the exact oil grade and specification recommended by your manufacturer. Trying to save money on cheap or incorrect oil often results in clutch slipping and premature wear. The worst part? You might not notice the problem until your clutch starts jerking, and by then, it's too late. Mistake number 8, poor lubrication of the release bearing. What is the release bearing and why does it matter so much? This small but vital component is what presses against the clutch's diaphragm spring every time you step on the pedal, allowing the clutch to disengage smoothly. In many vehicles, especially older ones or those with high mileage, the release bearing often runs without proper lubrication. Over time, this causes it to grind, squeak, or even seize up, noises that many drivers dismiss as normal. But these sounds are a red flag. The bearing is deteriorating and could soon cause serious clutch damage. If ignored, a worn release bearing can damage the diaphragm spring, forcing you to replace the entire clutch assembly sooner than necessary. The good news? Lubricating this bearing during regular maintenance costs only a few dollars but can save you hundreds or even thousands in repairs. Don't ignore those strange noises. Get your clutch system checked regularly. Mistake number 9, riding the clutch. Many drivers think resting their foot lightly on the clutch pedal is harmless, or even better for the clutch. But this habit, called riding the clutch, is one of the most damaging things you can do. Keeping your foot partially depressing the pedal means the clutch disc is never fully engaged or fully disengaged. This in-between state causes constant slipping, generating excessive heat and accelerated wear. It's like dragging the brakes slowly all the time. Over time, it destroys the components. Even a few seconds of riding the clutch every start, turn, or stop-and-go traffic adds up to serious damage. Remember, a smooth start is not a slow start. It's a complete, controlled release. Avoid the slow drag. Give your clutch a clean break every time. Mistake number 10, ignoring warning signs. By the time you notice these, your clutch is already in trouble. Watch out for these clear signs your clutch is failing. High biting point. If you have to almost completely release the pedal before the car starts moving, your clutch disc is worn out. Burning smell. That acrid, burnt odor after heavy clutch use means the friction material is overheating. Engine revs but no acceleration. This is clutch slip. Your engine is revving but the car isn't responding. Metallic noises when pressing or releasing the pedal, often a sign of a failing release bearing or other clutch components. If you spot even one of these, don't wait. Get your clutch checked immediately. Early intervention can save parts of your clutch system, while delay means a full, expensive replacement. So there you have it. 10 common driving mistakes that silently destroy your clutch every day. Recognize yourself in any of these? Don't worry, you're not alone. But the best part? It's never too late to change. Here's the secret most drivers don't know. If you've just replaced your clutch or are driving a new car, the first 1,000 miles are crucial. During this break-in period, avoid aggressive starts, heavy loads, and never rest your foot on the clutch pedal. This helps the clutch material settle properly, potentially extending clutch life by over 30%. A small change in habit for a huge saving in money and headaches. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more practical car care advice every week. Drive smart, protect your clutch, and I'll see you next time.